Hello everyone, welcome to day 214 of playing chess every day for a year. Let's find the game. e4, we get e5, we can go into the main line of this opening. If they bring their knight out, I can play h3 here. Next I'll play c3. They play knight to e7 instead, which I haven't really seen. Maybe planning to go to f4 at some point. I'll just go ahead and play c3. Then b4, a4 and a5. They bring their knight to target my bishop. I can always just slide back with the bishop. Here I have a sacrifice for my bishop, which would actually look quite nice. The king takes, walking into it. So the king takes, walking into a check. Then the king has to either step forward or backward. And I'd be able to give another check if the king went back, for example. So let's see, takes, check. I guess the king can go to g6. It does look very dangerous for them. But I think here I'll just simply I could also fork the pieces and actually go ahead and take the bishop first. If they take my bishop, I take their bishop. They take my bishop, I can take theirs. And then knight will be hanging. Because the knight can only go to these squares. They are all quite bad for my opponent. Also, this pawn will be hanging once they move their knight. And my opponent chooses to resign. I don't know why they did that. I played at a 73.4, they played at a 67.5. That was a blunder, which gave me b4. b4 was the best move, because they can't stop me from picking up the bishop. I should have taken the knight first. And then I guess the idea is that I'm trapping the bishop. If the bishop goes back, they have to sacrifice their bishop as the best move. If they go back with their bishop, I can simply just win it. So that's interesting. Taking the bishop first is actually wrong. They can leave with their knight. I guess they felt that they were losing material either way, so they resigned. Let's find the second game. And this time we're playing as black. And we're playing against e4, so I'll do the same as always. We get the hillbilly attack. If check, they actually go back, they don't give a check. This lets me develop my knight. I think knight to f6 is always the best choice here, just adding protection to the pawn. The king is weak, but I can't really do anything to target the king. Could play bishop f5 to just really control this square. They choose to develop, I'll choose to maybe pin. Pinning seems reasonable. I can also just develop my other knight and then go ahead and maybe play e5. If they pin me, I'm fine with that. I'll just play bishop d7 and then move. So I have the choice of going for e5 here, and I think I actually will. Just trying to aggressively push. So they are attacking this now. I can go for pin on the knight now. I think that's a move that, this lets me just tempo the queen. Push takes, I have to take though. Wow, could bring my bishop to target the queen. The knight isn't pinned anymore, so I can always just leave. Bringing my bishop would be fantastic to tempo the queen. Don't have any other way to tempo the queen. Push. So push if takes, I have to take, but then that would actually lose the queen. If I push, could sacrifice the piece, but I'm not winning any material. I'll actually go ahead and play b6. Now they are attacking this. So I could probably push. I think I'll just go ahead and push here. Because the pawn is under attack. I'm pressuring the knight now. The knight has to leave. I think that's a move which lets me just pin the knight to the queen though, so I'm not sure if that's the best choice from them. I can pin the knight. I don't really have a way of attacking it. I'll just pin for now. So they instantly just take my knight. If I take their queen, they take my queen. I take the knight. And it's just it looks like an even trade. But it's actually not. Oh wow. What did I do here? Just simple miscalculation from me. And now the plan, I guess, is just to castle and support my center. I don't really have any other options. I could rotate my knight, but by the time I get my knight to d3, they'll be castled, so I'll just go ahead and castle. This bishop pin was actually a huge blunder. It's just miscalculation from me. I was losing material either way. Because if they took my knight, I can't make a move, but they just go ahead and castle. I can't really push at the moment. My bishop's very weak. I can make it more useful on these light squares. That was a terrible bishop move from me. Bishop to c5, just losing a piece. But if they're trying to probably, they just developed the knight, reasonable move. Probably going for my weaknesses. I don't have very much I can do. All my pieces are very weak. I guess I can just go ahead and play a6 here. And try to stop them from developing, but they'll eventually be able to. They want to trade. I don't want to simplify. But I think if I allow them to trade, I'll just have double pawns and I'd be unable to stop myself losing the pawn. Maybe I'd have a move like knight to e4 though. For the moment, I'll just go ahead and attack their knight. They go ahead and take. Could tempo their knight. Then they just take. Rook over. I can't really stop myself from keeping the pawn. The rook takes. I don't have anything there. Knight over now. Same thing. Not much I can do. And that's actually an incredibly anticlimactic way to win the game. I really was not expecting that huge blunder from my opponent. But anyway, let's look at this game. And so they played it at 75.6 and I played it in 78.8. Obviously I made one huge blunder this game. So my opening was good. Everything was fine here. I should have played bishop d6 to just support this pawn. That's a mistake. And this move bishop to c5 is just a terrible move from me. It's a massive mistake. It's just a simple loss of material. If they take my knight, even if I recapture it, I still lose a piece. And I have no attack on their king. And here I had to just accept I'm losing material and go back. Because at least then their knight will have trouble escaping my half. I tempo the rook. I try to make some counterplay. Nothing really works here. It's best just to take here and then not trade down further, but they slide their rook over. And here I thought of loads of moves. I thought of just attacking their weakness. I thought of knight to e4. I thought of bringing another rook. But I played d4 just for the small chance of them allowing me to weaken their structure and jump in with my knight. I did see that they have back rank problems. And so once I took on e3, my only hope was that, I mean, obviously I thought they'd just take the rook and then take the pawn, which would be completely winning for them. I was hoping that they'd take what looks like a free pawn with the rook, but that just blunders mate in one, or mate in two moves. And I'm very lucky that they fell for this simple trap. I played d takes e3 very quickly, hoping they would fall for it, and they did. And again, really undeserved win after just losing a piece in a terrible way in the opening, on move 9. It's my opponent's blunder, which was much bigger than mine, that lost the game for them. And I get two very strange wins today. But either way, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you tomorrow.